What you got on the screen here is a great, well, debate we'll call it, which we're going to go through and together and react to it. And it's an American citizen went up against Representative Ro Khanna on the issue of illegal immigration and basically completely wiped the floor with him. She called him out to his face for obsessing about Epstein, when illegals have caused exponentially more harm to children and the American people in general. And Khanna really just gaslit and said of the Democrats, we've been more for a secure border, and there's a back and forward like that. Let's have a look at this, shall we, in more detail.
As a regular, everyday American citizen, I feel that I am more likely to be harmed by Democratic policies such as open borders. Because
I'm for secure borders.
Okay, but in your state,
Yeah.
something like 4,600 or so illegal migrants that had criminal records were re-released from jail. So when we're talking about harming Americans, when we're talking about children potentially being harmed, when we're looking into child trafficking, we have to acknowledge that illegal migration is the biggest funnel for child trafficking. So when we're worried about Epstein with a couple of people, and you guys turn a blind eye to tens of thousands of children being harmed by your policies. That's a problem.
We have been forced.
Very important comment she just gave there. She mentions Epstein, and you know they're all obsessing over that situation where you've got literally thousands of individuals undocumented coming into the United States. We had the same problem where I'm from as well, and causing sheer havoc. And the justification that you hear from certain politicians of certain beliefs is completely crazy.
Secure border, but here's what I want.
No one in California can say that they're for a secure border.
Oh, that's a
Look, politician, we're all for a secure border. Normal person, ain't no one in California that can say that. It's not an American-specific problem. This is happening in other Western countries as well. But this debate between the two of them really says it.
policy I've been pushing for. But let me say this. Instead of having ICE raids in places like Minneapolis killing Americans like Alex Preddy and Renee Good.
Two people, both of which well documented, and at least one of them, if you look around the circumstances, what happened there, depending on the different camera angles you're looking at, of course. Two people. Now, ICE have a very specific job. Go into areas where there are illegal activities by people that are in the US illegally, remove them, and they're being stopped from doing their goddamn job. What is that about?
People.
And doing raids on undocumented folks here who may be paying taxes and having a restaurant. How about we have the focus on the border to stop the terrorists or to stop the gangs or to stop sex trafficking?
People who are here paying their taxes, running restaurants. If you apply for legal entry into a country and you integrate, you obey the law and everything else, then you shouldn't be part of that conversation. You are a law-abiding citizen. But when you come in and you decide to do God knows what with God knows who, why is that acceptable? Why protect that? That flies in the face of everything that these people should be doing to protect the United States of America and its people.
If you're worried about sex trafficking, why is your focus on rich people who are committing significantly less sex trafficking crimes? Not saying that they're innocent, but your anger towards this seems very skewed and very hypocritical.
My anger towards them is because they feel like they're above the law, that they
and
use
so do these
connections.
migrants that get right back out of jail when you got.
I'm going to ask you a question about rich people right at the end, so stick around.
Let them out.
But I am not for,
they are above the law. They are at a tier that gets to walk free whenever they want.
I believe that if you've committed a violent crime or a terrible crime in this country, you should face deportation.
But you guys...
Correct. But is it happening?
Don't do it.
You guys don't do it. You heard her. You guys don't do it. So it's all right to stand there and say, oh, I believe they should. Don't do it. We get the same in England as well.
You believe it, but you let these people go.
Obama had a record of having secured the border, and there were a lot of criminals who were deported. What I don't agree with is what ICE is doing, putting terror in communities. I mean, let me ask you this.
I feel comfortable with ICE around. I'm not a criminal, illegal immigrant, so I feel very comfortable.
I feel very comfortable with ICE around. Now, ICE are being demonized because you have got large communities of individuals that have come from other countries, moved into states in the US. We have the same problem in England, a lot of similarities. They set down roots effectively, and they get up to all sorts. There are good people, don't get me wrong, there are good people, but we're talking about the ones that aren't good, the ones that should be removed, the ones that the issues are with. And you get a department, ICE, come in, they want to deal with it, and they're obstructed. Very powerful. This lady just said, I feel comfortable with them around.
Comfortable. I'm not terrorized by them, and I'm from New York.
New York.
Brooklyn, New York.
Okay. If there's
Brooklyn, New York. I don't feel terrorized by them. I bet she doesn't, bless her.
An undocumented immigrant here, right, came across without their papers, and they opened a restaurant, and they've been
Why?
Here.
Why are they allowed to do
Let me
that?
ask you
Why
this.
are they taking that place away from someone else?
Right, let's say they've been here 10 years and they're paying taxes. Do you think ICE should go and try to deport them, or do you think that
Yes.
we should? So we just.
I agree. If they're an undocumented migrant, I mentioned earlier about somebody that comes into the country legally and does everything. But we're talking about undocumented migrants here. They should not have the right to come into America, open a restaurant and everything else, and just carry on. The moment you become undocumented, you arrive illegally, then you should lose any right to stay there. You should be found, you should be removed, and to hell with the consequences. If you've opened a restaurant, that's your lookout.
Disagree there.
Because
I think that
if you're going to go after someone that was on Epstein's Island 10 years ago, then you should go after people that came here legally 10 years ago. And I think it's disingenuous for you guys to be focused on one thing that's so much smaller than this really large issue.
Looking at someone who came here undocumented for the American dream. Now, my parents came here through the legal process. We should have a path to legalization and
so
citizenship.
Should those people skip people like yourself?
It is so different than rich and powerful people who are rigging the system and feel like they're totally above the law. I mean, an undocumented person is much more vulnerable. They don't have access to politicians.
They're vulnerable because of your policies that make them vulnerable.
We got to pause here. You've been voted out by the majority.
Thank you.
Vulnerable. That is the stereotypical line which they say every time. Vulnerable. They're vulnerable. They need to be looked after. They need to be treated however. Every time. And that's where the problem is. And I really admired that lady there for doing what she did. And one of the things that she came out with at the end, why obsess over Epstein, but you won't obsess over undocumented migrants to the same capacity? It doesn't make any sense. It's almost like, and we have it here as well, there's no hunger to want to stop it. No hunger to want to stop it. Now, I have a question or a statement. So, Ro Khanna and his wife, you bear in mind, he just said on camera that his parents came here and had a route to citizenship and everything else. But Ro Khanna and his wife are worth $230 million. So why does he consider himself not wealthy enough to be affected by wealth tax? That's something else as well. Something to think about, as well as everything else he said on that actual statement. Interesting. And it's great when you see debates like that, a normal person against a senator, a representative, whatever it happens to be. Should see more of it. More people should get involved. Let me know what you think in the comments. As always, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share my stuff. I look forward to talking to you again real soon. Bye for now.